Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Business Spotlight. Joining me today is Michael Kehoe, broker of record with Fairfield Commercial Real Estate in Calgary. Thanks, Mike, for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Mario.
Well, let's talk about the retail sector in 2022 and what it was like.
Well, it was a busy year for us here at Fairfield Commercial Real Estate. The industry as a whole, in Canada, it was the best of times and the worst of times. Uh, there were a lot of new store openings. Sales were good in some sectors, in particular the luxury retail and the value end of the spectrum. Um, I think retailers in general across the country were faced with some headwinds with respect to labor shortages, rising wages and salaries, interest rates, a number of challenges. However, on the whole, it was a good year, and we're looking forward to a better year in 2023.
Well, let's talk about some trends in 2023 we can expect, and we'll get your thoughts on them. Of course, let's talk first of all about e-commerce and omni-channel experience. It's sort of the buzzwords of the retail sector in the last couple of years. Do you foresee just continued growth in those sectors?
I see that every retailer needs a good omni-channel platform. They need to be solid online. They need bricks and mortar stores. There's no question that the blue chip workhorse of any retail program is a bricks and mortar store, but strong online presence is critical, especially in these times. So we see that trend continuing.
Now, it's interesting you bring up the physical stores. Now, one of the issues and challenges the industry has faced in the past year is labor, finding amount of people to show up for work. Do you see that as a continued problem into 2023?
Well, it is a problem. It is a challenge. I think that the retailers and food service industry practitioners that have figured this out are doing well. It's really focused, laser-like for retailers to focus on their teams, their staffing requirements, and treating their people right. So we see that continuing on into the near future for sure.
All right. Now, obviously, for consumers, it's been a tough year. Inflation has hit them hard. Cost of living has hit them hard. Everything that you're purchasing these days seems to be increased. And is that sending or pushing more consumers to that value and discount store sector?
I believe it is. The retail industry continues to be polarized. With the luxury brands, the high-end stores doing well and expanding, but on the other end of the spectrum are the value retailers, the dollar stores, the thrift stores, any store that has a really good, strong value proposition with the consumer is going to do well, and we're going to see that trend continue. So you can watch for more of those stores on the retail landscape in the future.
All right. A lot of people are wondering if we're going to see a lot of store closures this coming year. What's your thoughts on that?
There's going to be a shakeout, certainly after Christmas and into the new year, where we're going to see some brands reposition, retool, maybe disappear altogether. But retail is always in a constant state of change, with new brands appearing, new stores and restaurants coming online and on the landscape. So it's just a continuing process. It's not a negative thing. It keeps our streetscapes and the shopping centers vibrant with new brands. And there are very much going to be challenges here in the new year, and we're going to see continued disruption. We're not back to the good old days, let's say, but it's going to be interesting for sure.
Let's talk about malls. And favorite topic of many people. And the malls sure have evolved and changed over the years. And I was thinking about that this morning when I was doing a story for Retail Insider on Elgin Center in St. Thomas, Ontario, and it's adding a Holiday Inn Express hotel as part of the mall. What do you see happening in malls, and why are we seeing all these different uses these days for space there that was primarily, really apparel for so many years?
Well, shopping center space is always evolving, and building owners, many of them are large institutions. They're very sophisticated owners, and they're looking to densify their sites, densify their projects with, in this case that you mentioned, a hotel. We're seeing different types of office buildings, residential towers. I
Mhm.
think that's the driving force with these shopping center sites, many that are underutilized. But the actual tenant mix of malls is changing around the apparel category, evolving into a few dominant players. I think we're going to see that switch from mostly retail, but increased personal service uses, medical, healthcare. It's really always evolving to suit consumer preferences. So it's going to be exciting to see how the major malls evolve.
Anything else that you're seeing out there, Mike, of interest in the sector?
Well, it's really hard to read. Next year, it's a little murky to see just what the demand is for space from retailers and restaurateurs. We're heading to the Consumer Real Estate Conference in uh, in and that's always a good barometer of the industry. My broker partner Monica Blahout and I will be there, meeting with retailers, meeting with shopping center owners, just to see what the landscape is. We figure that we're going to be seeing demand for retail and food service. Retailers are looking for affordable rents to control their costs. Building owners are looking for new and exciting brands to keep their properties fresh. So it's a little murky to see what's really going to happen, but I'm sure it'll evolve quickly once we get into the new year.
Now, Mike, there was a little glitch there when you were describing the conference. When, and where is that, and what is it?
In late January, the Consumer Real Estate Conference in Whistler, BC. It's kind of a gathering of the industry where we'll get into what locations are available. So we're looking forward to that.
Okay, thanks, Mike, for joining us today.
Thank you, Mario.
All right, that was Michael Kehoe, broker of record with Fairfield Commercial Real Estate in Calgary. I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Business Spotlight. Thanks for joining us today.